So in our independent living and community participation,
so is this a different tab now?
This is a different tab.
Okay, so now we're moving to, once you get past the educational training, you've picked your career, now you need to know what it takes. Do I have to go to school? Do I have to learn certain skills, right? So then you move on to the independent living, which is, what do I need to do to live independent?
Yes.
Okay.
And community participation. That community participation is how they are going to navigate themselves through the community. That is, how are they going to get to doctor's appointments? How are they going to get to and from work? What skills do they have to have in order to be successful on the job? And going back to civics, what are the things, what does a responsible person in the United States have to do? For the young men, they have to register with selective services. For adults 18, state of Arkansas says that you are an adult when you turn 18, then you would register to vote. Just those sorts of civic duty type of activities that, a lot of our young men are not aware that they have to register with selective services once they turn 18.
This is so interesting. I mean, I think any young adult would benefit from understanding what it takes to move out of your house and engage with your community. And what do you need to know? Like,
yes, right? Financial literacy, how to manage your money. Do you save money? A lot of, we don't have these conversations with kids, but it's not just about making the money, but it's also about saving some money too.
Yeah. So tell us what those subtabs are in that main tab so that our listeners can know that you've got different sections. So you've got independent living, and in there you have
the Medicaid waiver services. Not a lot of our students know, not a lot of the parents know that once they find out that they have a disability, it's a good idea to go ahead and put them on the Arkansas Medicaid waiver list, because that waiver list is astronomically long. And so by the time they reach high school, and if they haven't been on the list, it may be a little bit too late for them to receive services after they graduate. Now, we're talking about those individual students who are going to be homebound, who will not be able to work for whatever reason. They're bound to a hospital bed, for example. Those sorts of students. But by law, we still required to complete a transition plan on them. For them.
So you provide the website here in the binder where they can fill out that form, and it's a great awareness. They may already know about it, but you are just giving this friendly reminder. Yes. Re-emphasizing that start now while they're in high school. If you haven't done it already, get them on the Medicare wait list.
One thing that comes as a big shock is if they are receiving some sort of service, for example, Social Security, they're receiving that. Then what is it? What happens is once they turn 18, then they're off. They have to go through a redetermination process. And that's an eye-opener for a lot of parents as well. We talk about guardianship here in this section. If you feel as though your student will be incapacitated and unable to care for themselves, then you can start planning on getting guardianship before they turn 18. Because after they turn 18, or when they turn 18, they are considered an adult in the state of Arkansas. Then it's much more difficult to get guardianship of an adult than it is a minor.
So that's so you put that resource there under independent living. Great.
Yes. And under our healthcare, like you mentioned, it's once they become an adult, they no longer talk to mom and dad. But here is just a little form that tells the parents what are the differences between a pediatric doctor and an adult doctor. And honestly, did you realize that your child will not be seeing your pediatric doctor once they turn 18, 19, 20, that they have to go on to a new doctor? And have you done any research about that doctor? See if that they will be a good fit, as a primary care physician. So things to get the parents thinking as well. But we do have to set up some realistic expectations in terms of life and the probability of the longevity of the parents, comes to a certain head. And then what do? You just don't want to get there at the end of the road and say, okay, now which way? What do I do now? Turning 18, this is in there, what it means for your health. It's a one pager. So it's really quick, easy to read. And it just gives you some information about the rights that those individuals will have when they become an adult. So the doctor won't call mom and dad, to remind him or her of the appointment. They will make contact with that student who's now an adult to remind them they have that appointment, scheduled. So again, just some eye openers for parents, mainly in this independent living community participation section.